Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults,
and beer.
and beer.
Yup.
Oh, and I damn needed a beer today. But the fact that it's two crazy Florida men sitting around doing the talking and everything, that just makes it so much better.
Yes, it does.
Especially when the crazy Florida men acknowledge that they're crazy Florida men.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
So, that is Todd.
And that is Bill.
Yeah, it's been a rough week for us. but
Yeah.
but you know what? We're not going to dwell.
It's all good.
We're not going to dwell on it like we did on the Boone Helm Part 2 episode. but
Yeah.
but we got an awesome one for you. We got a Florida man for you today.
Yay, Florida man.
Yeah. So that brings up the question: what are you drinking?
Actually, today, in honor of our episode, I am drinking Florida Man by Cigar City Brewing. It is a double India Pale Ale.
Cigar City. That's over there in Ybor City, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. That's right down the street from me.
Yes, it's pretty good. It's got a kind of a grapefruity, kind of hoppy taste to it, but it's pretty good.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I'm drinking something that's really flat and tastes like shit, but I happen to like it a lot. It's called Bud Light.
Right? Bill and his Bud Lights, man. Bill and his Bud Lights.
I had to throw him a curveball on that one. It's like, because I'm usually talking about how great it is.
Oh,
Well, now I'm being honest.
I got you.
Now I'm being honest.
Right?
So, oh man, I have another installment for the oddity that is the Fort Pierce Loves, the one with the Arby's.
Oh no, another one.
Yeah, this one's short and sweet. This one's like 30 seconds long, maybe less. Anyway,
Right,
so I stopped in there last week. Got my, ordered my food and everything. And but the thing is there's this kid that's working there. It's the same kid that charged me extra for the au jus on a French dip.
Oh no.
But he was sitting there telling a manager, a district manager, it said so on their pin, on their name tag, how to work the register.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, if this guy is teaching the district manager how to do it, and this guy charged me extra for an au jus on a French dip, that store's got problems.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And for continuity's sake, we're doing this episode on November 9th, the day after the midterm elections.
Yep.
And I got an election story for you. I mean, we're not going political or anything like that. Don't worry. But there was just something that came out in the results. The state senate, or the Senate race, Marco Rubio won definitively, but but that's not what I'm talking about. There was a write-in candidate who got 17,000 votes. And that would be Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, that's good. That's funny.
17,000 people wrote Tua in, and I didn't watch. I just saw a screenshot of it as a meme, and but I can just imagine that there was this, like somebody like on like MSNBC or whatever sitting there. It's like, okay, you've got Marco Rubio, you've got the Democrat, you've got the Independent, but I don't know who this Tua is. Who Tua? I mean, I don't know who he is. Well, of course you don't, because you're not a Miami Dolphins fan and you're not cool. You suck. That's Tua. You say his name with respect, and he got 17,000 votes.
Yeah, right on.
Maybe he's got a career in politics after football.
It's entirely possible.
All right, so let's dive into this thing. Okay, we are covering Mayor William Cotrell of Cedar Key, Florida.
Cedar Key.
Cedar Key. Now, this takes place in the late 1800s. And Cedar Key, Florida, for those of you who don't know, is located on the northwestern part of the Florida Peninsula. on the coast. It's a
Yes.
part of a collection of islands through there called the Cedar Keys, plural. It used to be full of cedar trees, and there was the wood trade was huge there as a result. And they also had a really busy port because obviously, with that much wood going out and everything, because cedar and everything, it was lucrative at that point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, but like any other major industrial area, it died out when the industry went away, and the industry went away obviously when the cedar trees went away.
When they ran out of trees.
Yeah. But it used to be all foresty and everything. Now it's just flat. But
yeah,
whatever. I mean, they overforested. It happens.
Well, yeah. Back then there was no regulation. You could just do whatever you wanted.
Well, not even so much that. It's just they didn't know any better.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. But so it then turned into a transient stop for people traveling through. Today it's a popular yet sleepy tourist town. It went through, like 2 different battles of the Seminole Wars. And after the major cedar industry went away, a pencil factory was born. Yeah.
A pencil factory?
A pencil factory. This was after the Civil War, so that kind of kept the place afloat.
Right on.
But in 1889, 33-year-old William Cotrell was elected mayor by a margin of 101 votes. He ran unopposed. There were only about 200 people living there, and he was a world-class douchebag who hid behind authority to get whatever the hell he wanted. But now we're going back, as Chris Berman used to say.
All right.
As a boy, he had an altercation with an old man. The old man insulted Little Will. I'm going to call him Little Will for the rest of the episode. Little Will.
Little Will.
It suits him. And Little Will threw a tantrum. He just started kicking the shit out of the old man's shins.
Oh.
So the old man grabbed him, turned him over his knee, and whooped his scrawny little ass.
Good.
Yeah, damn right.
That was back in the day when you could do that kind of thing.
Right, but Lil Will, he ran crying home to his uncle, and then they went to the old man's house, and his uncle grabbed the old man and he held him still, and Lil Will beat the shit out of the man, and then stabbed him 9 times with a pocket knife.
Oh crap!
Yeah,
that escalated.
Yeah, big time. But from that point on, Lil Will saw himself as a desperado. He he read the dime store comics about the heroes and believed that he was one of them. And
oh boy,
and this was who he was in his young life. Oh,
all right,
buckle up, brother. We're gonna have.
Yeah,
we're gonna.
I have a feeling this is gonna get out of control.
Yeah, very much so. This is.
I mean, we are talking about more than likely the actual first Florida man ever. So
yeah, we are, because this happened before the Ashleys.
So yeah, here we go.
Yeah. So by the time he was 28, he was wanted by the police, and instead of a dime store comic book hero, he was a dime a dozen comic book douchebag desperado. My words, not the sources. I came up with that. Sources by the
douchebag desperado. I love it.
Yeah. Sources for this, by the way, there's a bunch of them. I had to piece it together from a bunch of different things. And it's the SmithsonianMag.com, the California Digital Newspaper Collection, CDNC.com. And
okay.
And what they lifted, and this is a really cool resource. I bookmarked it. It's you get newsprint from stories from way back then, and this is from this story that I reference is from the San Francisco Call episode of November 7th, 1890.
Oh,
the Palm Beach Post, MiamiNewTimes.com, and the Daily Kos.
Okay.
So I mean But I ain't gonna lie, I had a really good time putting these notes together. It was
yeah, right on.
So, he grew up in a good family. His father had a large estate and lots of slaves before the Civil War. And his brother James, he had a store in Cedar Key, where his younger brother Thomas was employed as a clerk. Thomas also was a prohibitionist over slavery.
Oh.
He didn't believe in it, and we find out later that old Lil Will, he didn't either. He didn't like slavery either.
Oh, okay. So he's got something good going for him. Kinda. Okay. Maybe not so much then, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So Lil Will's father was a prominent in politics, and he was in good with the governor at the time. But shortly thereafter, his father died, leaving his legacy to his sons, the two good ones, and Lil Will. And Lil Will went nuts, like as if he wasn't already going nuts.
Yeah.
The second most infamous thing that he did was shortly after his sister was married, he shot her husband in cold blood.
Oh,
killed him.
Well, all right. That's a little bit aggressive, but okay.
The two men were fishing on a boat, and they had a black boy on the boat waiting on them, and they were chugging whiskey, the two of them. And the boy was sober, and he wanted to join in. And Lil Will's brother-in-law objected to sharing the bottle with a black kid. And
okay,
Lil Will was a lot of things, but he was no racist. And he shot and killed his brother-in-law.
For being a racist? Oh, God, that's fucking great.
He was arrested and then acquitted. And he widowed his sister.
Yeah, I bet that put a fucking strain on family relations, huh?
Yeah. But the thing about it is the time frame. I mean, this is post-Civil War South. For you to find somebody, from a well-to-do white family like that was dead set against slavery, especially in the South, that was kind of hard to do. So, I mean, it's just like he, for whatever reason, him and his younger brother, they were just against it.
Well,
so
that's good for them, I guess.
Nobody's
even though
nobody's 100% bad.
Yeah.
Well, except for Adolf.
Yeah, there's a little bit of good in everybody.
Except for Adolf Hitler, he was 100% bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he was a decent artist.
Yeah, that's true. He was. if he'd only stuck with that.
Yeah. I seriously think that the whole reason that he started this whole thing is because he tried to get into that college. Yeah, that art school, and it was a Jew that said, "No, you're not good enough." And he's like,
"Yeah, that probably did it."
And he's like, "Fuck that dude, perfect, you can mein Kampf."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
So he's credited. Lil Will is credited with the killing of 3 or 4 men. He brutalized many others. And nobody in Cedar Key dared cross his path. There was a British man who was passing through, and he was in a bar, and he was talking trash about Americans. Now, Lil Will may be a lot of things, but he ain't no racist, and he ain't no anti-American. He's a patriot.
Right.
So he pulled out his gun and told the man to get out of town. That Brit had never seen the likes of Lil Will. And he hightailed out of there, out of Cedar Key, faster than Michael Malloy runs to somebody yelling, "Drinks on the house!" I only bring this up because this story is very much on the level of the Michael Malloy story.
Yeah. Drinks on the house. Sign me up.
So anytime anyone had a disagreement with Lil Will, he would pull out his gun and he would start shooting like Yosemite Sam. Bam, bam, bam. I'm the rootinest, tootinest.
That's fucking great.
So now, Lil Will may be a lot of things like an angry drunk, but one thing he ain't is a mean sober man.
All right.
So from the San Francisco Call, this is a quote. Actually, all of this early stuff is from the San Francisco Call. It's a very well detailed article, and it's kind of written in old school and everything, so it's kind of hard to differentiate. But what I'm about to read for you is verbatim.
Right on.
When not under the influence of liquor, Cotrell is said to be an approachable man, rather given to loud talking and inclined to feel insulted by the persistent way in which he is followed by his own shadow. He is generally counted by the ruffians of Cedar Key as a good fellow, and he will drink with anybody in his cups, and this is his almost normal condition. The mayor of Cedar Key is eccentric. He will shoot at anybody. He at times becomes crazy and will run down the street shooting at random.
Okay.
5 years prior to becoming mayor, he was on his family's race. They owned a racing schooner, and it was called Nanny in Tampa Bay. And another boat had pulled ahead of him, and he pulled out his gun and started shooting at the other boat.
Oh my! You can't beat me.
You can't beat me. I'll sink your ass.
That's fucking great. Oh, that's so good. I'll just shoot you. You can't win.
Now,
oh, man.
Now, when I mentioned before that he had ran for mayor unopposed, it was because he threatened anyone who was even thinking about running against him.
Of course he did.
And he probably even threatened people that weren't thinking about running against him. He just ran up to somebody and was just like, "You look mayor type. If you run against me, I'll kill you."
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, for sure. He sounds like that kind of guy.
He is that kind of guy. That's why I call him Lil Will. I mean, it's just like when I was talking about the stuff that happened as a kid, I called him Lil Will. I'm like, you know what? I'm going with that for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, let's stick with that. I like it.
So, once elected, he really went off the deep end. But prior to becoming mayor, he rafted timber for a bit, but he got out of that quick. But after that, he had been out of work for quite a while, and he was living off of his relatives.
Oh.
Yeah, the people of Cedar Key, they feared him. They feared him so much they let him do, say, or take whatever the hell he wanted.
Oh, wow. One of those guys, huh?
Yeah. But even as mayor, Lil Will would take over his brother's store. He would barricade the door, pistol in hand, and he would keep the women in there who were shopping hostage for 4 to 5 hours and threaten to shoot them if they tried to escape.
Okay. Why? Just because?
Just because. But this was all
right.
This was all talk. You know why?
Why?
Now, Lil Will may have been a lot of things, but one thing he ain't is a woman abuser. Are you seeing a pattern here?
I'm seeing a pattern here.
You know, he was never charged with hurting a woman. But if Lil Mayor Will came out of his office schnockered, the town would basically come to a standstill. They had to stay indoors at the risk of being shot.
Yeah.
Like, lots of the buildings and everything were, like had bullet holes on the walls, broken windows and stuff because of him strolling down the street like Yosemite Sam. Bam, bam, bam.
Oh, I could just see that too. Holy crap. That's
I
funny
know.
shit.
And, I'm going to be posting a picture of him, and it's ironic. It is so freaking ironic because the way that he looks like President Benjamin Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin Harrison plays a role in this story.
Oh, here we go.
But yeah, he looked a lot like Benjamin Harrison. The like chiseled face and everything with a big beard.
Uh-huh.
He and Benjamin Harrison, I mean, if you put them side by side, they look like they were cut from the same cloth. I'm not saying they look like they were brothers or anything like that, but they look like they were the same, cut from the same cloth. Like like you and I standing side by side when I used to have long hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but Lil Will was bad for business, and that was especially bad for Cedar Key. It was an island with one way on and one way off of it. And since the lumber trade had gone away, and the railroad was added to a town further north that connected to Fernandina Beach, there really wasn't anything appealing about Cedar Key at the time. Most of the other prominent businesses had moved south to Tampa. So it's just basically hanging on by a thread.
Yeah. And he's not helping it.
No. He's bad for business. But to make matters worse, Lil Will made his thug friends the police there.
Oh God, here we go.
He also
this is gonna get good now. If he made his thug buddies the police,
oh yeah,
shit's gonna go south real quick.
Yeah, he also named himself the chief inspector. So detective.
Oh yeah, because why wouldn't you?
Right. So somebody actually married this prick.
Really?
Yeah. There was a station agent in Cedar Key, and station agent, I'm assuming it's like a train station or something. When I said that the railroad had been added to a town further north, I mean they still had a train and everything. I'm assuming because it's not really clear. This is all out of that article from the same time, the San Francisco one.
Okay.
So it's not really clear, but I love the freaking writing style on this, and I'm going to post a link in the notes on this episode because just so that people can read the actual article as it was written because it's great. It's fucking great. It's fire.
It's fire. Hell yeah, that's cool.
So the station agent is a man named Mr. Dofer. He was in a barber shop where he ran into Lil Will. He had a gorgeous cousin, and she was in town from South Carolina to visit. And Lil Will noticed her and said, "Dofer, you introduced me to that cousin of yours, and I swear I'll marry her in 2 weeks." Gotta love Mr. Dofer. He said that this wasn't the time or place to discuss such thing, and he was not in a fit state at all to discuss a lady.
Oh, I bet that didn't go over well.
Nope. But Lil Will, he's just like, "Oh, how dare you!" So he drew his pistol, but Dofer drew his. Several shots were fired, but the only casualty was a window pane.
Everybody missed.
Friggin' stormtroopers.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So, Lil Will may be a lot of things, but one thing he ain't is a man who would kill the only man who could introduce him to that hot cousin of his.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, you know what? It sounds like Lil Will's... he may not be, or he may be a lot of things, but the things he's not is getting a little longer every time.
And we're only on page 6.
Yeah, pretty soon the things he ain't are going to be longer than the things he is.
That's the point of this. I mean, this was.
I know, dude. This is freaking great.
this was the shit that I came up with when I did this. I was just like,
right
oh
on.
my God, this is brilliant. I love this story. This might actually dethrone Michael Malloy as the most insane story that we've covered. which is sad to say because we love you, Iron Mike.
Yes.
But hey, this guy was the murder trust all rolled up into one person.
Yeah, sounds like it. Holy crap. Anyway.
So Dofer's cousin was engaged to a lawyer in Jacksonville at the time.
Okay.
But Lil Will wooed her and won.
Oh.
she sent her engagement ring back to Jacksonville, and her fiance came down to Cedar Key heartbroken and tried to win her back. He failed. And she and Lil Will were married. And for some reason, they spent their honeymoon in Jacksonville.
Gee, I wonder why.
I mean, he's cucking the fiance.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, seriously, yeah. I think Lil Will wanted to go to Jacksonville because he needed to kill somebody.
No, he didn't kill the guy. But...
Oh, well, see, all right.
But still, all of this was less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Lil Will may be a lot of things, but one thing he ain't is a liar. He said 2 weeks and he got it done in less than that.
Well, there you go. Man of his word.
So Lil Will promised his bride that he'd stop drinking and become an upstanding citizen. Lil Will may be a lot of things, but one thing he ain't is a truthful man.
It's a truthful man. He ain't a liar, but he ain't truthful neither, so. He ain't a liar when it suits him.
So they returned back to Cedar Key, and they were staying in a hotel there that, of course, had a bar attached to it. And
well, of course.
And he was drinking, and
of course.
Of course, he ran out of beer. He ran out of money for more beer, but they refused to give him any more liquor. So he lost his temper, and he started shooting the place up. He started chasing the innkeeper's husband, like through the place, just shooting bang, 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 bang. Freaking Yosemite Sam again.
Oh shit.
The poor guy, he hid in a room, and his wife blocked the room, saying if he wanted her husband, he'd have to kill her. That sobered him up a bit. Why?
Because he doesn't hurt women.
Right. He may be a lot of things.
He may be a lot of things, but one thing he ain't is a woman herder.
Right. Oh, God.
Well, yeah, here we go. This is going to be... People are going to get sick of this shit.
Oh, hell no. There's only about 10 more.
I know.
At least they're...
It's all good.
At least they're fast.
Yeah.
But the next day, he had the woman arrested, and he took possession at the bar where he and his deputies, they helped themselves.
Of course.
Yeah. It was his bar now, and she was in jail.
Yeah, it's good to be the king.
Yeah. So the whole town, they were whispering around. They felt sorry for his new wife, and you know what? I do too.
Yeah.
But you know what? She brought it on herself.
She did.
I'm sure.
I mean, I hate to take that fucking stance, but yeah.
I mean, when he was sitting there courting her, people just like, unless he never let her out of his sight. I was gonna say it's just like if people were courting her and everything, then it's just like people come up. Hey, look, you see all these bullet holes? That's your boy. That's your boy right there. That's old Lil Will.
Yeah.
And he's already lied to you. He said that he was gonna stop drinking, and then he chased the innkeeper's husband all through the hotel.
Yeah.
I can change him. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not. But still, it doesn't make it right. I mean, he's got this fucking guy.
Yeah. Right? Holy shit.
At this point, who's the bigger piece of shit? Just on, I'm not talking about appetite, I'm just talking about actions. Boone Helm or William Cotrell?
Dude, I don't know. They're kind of neck and neck.
They are, and I think that William Cotrell is a little bit crazier too.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. It's hard to say because they're both just. You never know what's. Well, I guess you do know what's going to set them off, and you just,
Right.
But yeah, they'll just go nuts for no fucking reason whatsoever.
Yeah, but there was kind of like a method, a method to Boone Helm's madness, though. He was greedy.
Yeah.
He wanted to be rich, and he was going to do whatever the hell he had to do to do it.
Yeah.
And he was also a badass, which Lil Will is not.
Yeah. He just thinks he is.
Yeah, he's Yosemite Sam, I swear.
Yeah.
I made a post on social media earlier today, and I said, "What do you get when you take Pee Wee Herman and combine it with Boone Helm's attitude and his confidence and Yosemite Sam?" Nobody's answered that yet because you have no clue what I'm talking about. Nobody's going to come up with William Cotrell. Yeah. This is a Florida story.
Yeah.
Okay, now, so that story from the San Francisco newspaper from back during the time, okay, that ends right there. It was basically his childhood leading up to the fact that somebody married that douchebag, and
yeah,
and he, but the story was still ongoing at that point. So it's really it's just really, really interesting. I'm gonna really do a deep dive on that website and see what's there as far as some of these old true crime stories, because
all right, yeah, that sounds cool.
I absolutely loved it. It's just like this going. Once I found that the early life and everything, just a little bit of it that there was there, and everything else that's out there is just like about what happens. Like after he became sheriff and all that stuff. And there's just like a whole lot more to the story,
Yeah.
So once I found that, I started writing down my notes and everything. I was just like, oh, this is good. This is good. This is so good. I love that.
Right.
So, but yeah, it just, I fucking love this. I love this story.
Cool.
So,
I'm digging it so far.
So his reign of terror continued, and he once forced a black man to beat the snot out of a white telegraph operator.
Okay.
It's just like, you beat the shit out of this guy.
For no reason, just to do it.
No reason was listed, and I looked at the same instance on several different sites, and there was no reason given.
So what was he just trying to here, beat the shit out of this guy? You deserve it.
Yeah, you deserve it. I mean, it's just like I said, he's not a racist, but at the same time, you got to figure he's terrorizing this black man. This black man doesn't want to beat the shit out of this telegraph operator.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you got a point there. Yeah, that's pretty messed up. But anyway.
He would even randomly force people at gunpoint to headbutt each other.
Oh my God.
Hey, you over there. Come here. What? Oh God, it's this guy. What?
Yeah.
Hey,
this guy.
You come over here. Oh crap. Fuck. God, all I had to do was round that corner. And I've been gone.
I was 2 steps away from being free.
Yeah. All right, get over here. All right, now you headbutt each other now. Do I have
this
to?
Guy's fucking. The lights are on, but nobody's home with this dude. Definitely.
Do I have to? Yes, you have to. I'll shoot you. I shoot you.
I shoot you.
I'll shoot at you.
Yeah.
He may have been the first stormtrooper as well.
Right.
So,
oh boy.
But it gets even worse.
Okie dokie.
He would run into people. He would force people out of their homes at night and make them dance in the streets at gunpoint.
Oh. Because reasons, I guess.
Because reasons? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
Wow.
Well, I was gonna say I was wondering if he could have been the New Orleans Axeman, but I'm not sure when the dates are. You know, he forced everybody to blast jazz music, otherwise he'd start killing people, and that's an unsolved case. Yeah. That's probably one of the only unsolved cases that this podcast is gonna cover. There's a couple that we're gonna cover. We're not gonna really get into the unsolved, but this one, the New Orleans jazz man, yeah, we're gonna cover that one at some point. It's crazy entertaining story. But yeah, it's just like I wonder. We'll revisit if the dates line up with the New York, with the New Orleans Axeman. We'll revisit old Lil Will.
Yeah,
Lil Will.
Lil Will.
Not Lil
yeah,
Bill.
we'll figure. Yeah, we'll bring it in. We'll make it work somehow.
Yeah.
If the dates line up. If they don't, then no.
Right, because this one does have an end date to it.
Yeah.
So, many people had written the governor for help, but no one came. One resident, a lady named Rose Bell, wrote to President Benjamin Harrison calling for an investigation into the outrageous conduct perpetrated by the habitual drunkard Cotrell.
Habitual drunkard. I love it.
She cited an instance where he had made a black man parade through town in a ridiculous costume. Which, like, okay, well, why did you do that if you're not racist?
Yeah, that's kind of weird, but okay.
Yeah. But she also cited about when he killed his brother-in-law. And like other offenses and everything. And she concluded by saying that the good Christian men were too timid to put a stop to it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and President Harrison, and this is what this is kind of fucked up too, but it's kind of like, you got to look at the times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't judge something that happened in the 1800s by today's standards.
No, absolutely not. It was a completely different time back then.
Right. Now, Harrison thought that it was a very grim commentary of the social order of Cedar Key that only a woman had the courage to file the charges against Lil Will.
Oh my God. Oh, he does have a point.
He does have a point, but like I said, if Biden or if Trump or Obama or had said something similar, they'd have been strung. They'd have been canceled.
Probably. But that's also making it's not so much as like, oh, only a woman would do something like that. It's like that to me. That's making a comment like, why aren't the men doing something about it? Why is this woman asking me to help?
Right, but I said,
what are these men? What are these pansy ass men in this town? Why the fuck aren't they doing something?
But like I said, measuring it by today's standards and everything is just like, okay, well, why wouldn't a woman do it?
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. But
yeah, but you can't.
Even back then, dude. To me, that's just like,
I don't think that President Harrison made that comment as, like as misogynist. I don't think that was a misogynist. I don't think it was intended that way. But it's like today, that's how it would be interpreted.
Oh yeah, it would totally be interpreted that way.
Right.
But I'm taking it that, dude, he was making a fucking general commentary of the men in this town. Like, why the fuck aren't you guys doing something?
But
fucking
just put a pin on that comment, because it comes back later, and it kind of proves the point that we're making.
Right on.
So I mean, it's just like but President Harrison, excuse me. President Harrison sent a Pinkerton to investigate.
Oh, the Pinkerton detectives.
The Pinkertons never sleep.
Or the Pinkerton detectives, depending on which movie you watch.
Yeah. But no, the Pinkertons were badasses at that point.
I know. So what was that? Was that Young Guns 2 or what fucking
God,
movie was that? Where somebody called him a Pinkerton detective instead of a Pinkerton detective.
I think that was Young Guns too, but the Pinkertons were also in that freaking series. What the fuck was the name of that series? The one that took place in Black Hills, South Dakota. Oh God. It's a really good series. It's like totally escaping me right now. But the Pinkertons were in it as well.
Right on.
And about the time we're wrapping this up, it'll pop in my, oh, that's what it was. But
was it what was that? Hell on Wheels?
No, it wasn't Hell on Wheels, although I think the Pinkertons were part of that as well. But but
anyway.
God damn, what was it? Deadwood.
Just blurted out of
Deadwood.
Oh, Deadwood. Okay.
Great series. It got canceled on a cliffhanger, but they made a movie. The series was great. They made a movie to tie everything up, and the movie sucked.
That's often they do.
Yeah, I fell asleep during it, which is something that I never would have said about watching that series. When J.H. Pinkerton arrived, he had been appointed the customs collector with oversight of revenue generation and maritime law by President Harrison.
Okay.
So President Harrison has appointed somebody to a local jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Which, what could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong?
I mean, it's not so much that, but the what could go wrong comes later. Not because of that. I mean, they knew that the Pinkerton was there to help, but still,
yeah,
they should have just freaking brought in fucking Tough Tony.
Yeah, it's Tough Tony.
What was it? Somebody just shoot the fucker.
Why don't we just shoot him? Because we all aim like stormtroopers. We can't hit him. We've tried.
Pinkerton's arrival had problems from the start. Obviously, it was Cotrell, but his antics were worse than Pinkerton had even realized. But yeah, it's just like, okay, he was there. It's just like he knew it was bad. Otherwise, he wouldn't be sent there. But when he got there, he was just like, holy shit. Damn. What the fuck?
Right? WTAF is going on here.
Yeah, pretty much. But Pinkerton wasn't one to be intimidated, though. Yeah, he knew Lil Will was coming for him, and he did, and he threatened him. And Pinkerton sent out a telegram to Washington, just basically appraising of the situation.
Okay.
So the feud escalated between Pinkerton and Cotrell when Pinkerton insisted that Cotrell resign his position as inspector because of his volatile reputation.
Okay.
So he's not. That
makes sense.
Yeah, it does. He shouldn't be the chief investigator if he's like
gonna shoot everybody.
The only thing that he knows how to investigate is his gun and a bottle of beer or whiskey.
Or whiskey, yeah.
But Lil Will was a lot of things, but one thing he ain't, a quitter.
A quitter. Oh, God, that's great.
Cotrell showed up at the customs house where Pinkerton was staying, and on May 9th of 1890, he was accompanied by City Marshal J.R. Mitchell, who was one of his thug friends.
Cronies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They showed up there and they were looking to whoop some ass.
Yeah.
But Pinkerton, he was staying put. He's like, I ain't coming out.
All right.
So Cotrell ordered Mitchell to shoot the goddamn Republican SOB in the head if he didn't come out.
Oh.
And he vowed to make it hell for Pinkerton as long as he stayed in Cedar Key. So this was when Pinkerton asked for federal help since local and state agencies weren't doing anything because either they were afraid of Cotrell or they just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So Pinkerton's request was granted through the Revenue Cutter Service, which is basically the Coast Guard, which sent a heavily armed warship, the McLean, to the islands on May 15th.
Oh boy, here we go.
It was called the McLean, and that just makes me think of one thing.
Yes, my favorite Christmas movie of all time.
God, you got it! You got it! Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!
Bravo, Todd!
Ho ho ho! Now I have a machine gun.
Bravo, Todd! That was fucking that was great.
How do you think I'm not gonna get that one?
I wasn't sure.
Yeah. And yes, for the record, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I don't care what anybody says.
Agreed.
I will die on that hill.
It ain't a big hill to die on because like there's a lot more people that agree than disagree.
I know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but props to you, bro. I wasn't sure if you'd catch that or not.
Oh yeah.
The ship's captain, the McLean's captain, Thomas Smith, he wrote back to the president that the newspaper reports were not only not exaggerated, but they didn't even tell half of Cotrell's crimes.
Oh shit.
Yeah. He also noted that it was obvious that the state authorities were in Cotrell's pocket, not to mention the fact that he was terrorizing and threatening witnesses. And
oh yeah, here we go.
And this is just stuff from where he would send people out in like plain clothes and everything just to observe.
Yeah.
And just listen to people talk and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
This was just he's getting real-time information from people that he sent out from his ship. So Smith officially launched a search for Lil Will. But Lil Will escaped in the night up the Swanee River. But Pinkerton asked Smith to remain in case Cotrell returned, which Smith did.
Yeah. I would hope so.
Yeah, so.
Because he's coming back. He's got to come back, right?
You would, maybe. So, despite, now, and this is where it gets, this is where a little monkey wrench is thrown into it.
Oh, a little monkey wrench.
Yeah. Despite the more than a year of Cotrell's reign of terror, the locals weren't thrilled about a federal cutter being docked in the waters. Yeah, they didn't trust the federal government. I mean, this is like less than
this is still
like 20 years after the Civil War had ended.
Yeah, this is still like there was definite mistrust of things.
And Cedar Key, it had taken some damage during the Civil War, and it hadn't been reconstructed yet, as was promised after the war ended.
Uh-huh.
Now, Lil Wayne was a lot of things, but one thing he ain't is a damn federal Yankee.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we know Lil Wayne isn't, but yeah, Lil Will isn't either, right?
Did I say Lil Wayne?
You said Lil Wayne.
I bet Lil Will could play guitar better than Lil Wayne.
Dude, my cat could play guitar better than Lil Wayne. Anyway.
Although if Lil Will hit a bad note on guitar, he'd just shoot the fucking thing. Well, he'd shoot and he'd miss.
Yeah, he'd just shoot it.
And miss.
He'd try,
But
anyway,
so
moving on.
Smith's searches for Cotrell were met with resistance. Word got back to President Harrison, who basically said, "You all couldn't handle it, so we will."
Uh-oh.
So, I mean...
I'm sensing an Avengers Assemble moment here. Is that what's coming?
Well, the thing about it is this is the only time in American history where the military has been sent to an American city to oust a a government figurehead.
Yes. It is an Avengers Assemble moment.
Yeah, this is the only time in the history of the United States that this has ever happened, and of course, it happens right in old good old the Sunshine State, Florida.
I know, right? It happens in Florida. No wonder everybody hates Florida.
He
See, I thought everybody hated Florida because we look like America's Wang. Apparently not.
He definitely hated. Yeah, it's just like he definitely is the first official Florida man.
Florida man, yes. Florida man elected mayor.
And then the second one was
gets the army sent after him.
I'm assuming the second ones were the Ashleys. But then there could have been some. But there was probably about 30 years in between where Cotrell's story ends and the Ashley story begins. So there could have been another one in there. And you know what? If there is, I'm going to find it and we're going to cover it.
Yes, yes, hell yes, we are.
And
I'm totally down for that.
Truth be told, I found this story for the first time listening to that podcast, Florida Men on Florida Man. They did a good. I mean, their story on it was only like 20 minutes long, but it was good enough to like get me hooked. And it was like, okay, I'm doing research on this. We're covering this piece of shit, you know?
Right.
So, and I'm glad I did because I had such a good time, doing the notes on this, and I had, the research, and I'm having an even better time actually doing the episode.
Oh yeah, no, this is great.
I love this.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So, but Cotrell was still missing in action. He had made it to near the Georgia border and then crossed over through the Panhandle into Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh.
He was immediately taken into custody there, but he was released on bond to wait for his court date.
Why do they always do that?
I don't know. But
oh well.
Unlike Boone Helm, Cotrell didn't bounce.
Oh really? He stayed? He actually stayed? Holy shit.
He stayed there. So
that's unexpected.
Yeah. So but Lil Will shortly resumed his old habits. And on November 5th, he was arrested because he was schnockered and he was trying to pick a fight with a local restaurant owner. He was arrested and let go. It's just basically, hey, calm your ass down. Yeah, it's just like
settle down, little man.
they knew that he was wanted, but they didn't know the extent. That's the only thing that I can gather from the stories.
All right.
But he was arrested and then released once again.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
But he swore vengeance on the police chief, Adolph Gerald. He's running his mouth, and he was saying that he was going to kill Gerald in a duel that he had challenged him to. He's like, I'm challenging him to a duel.
Oh, did he slap him in the face with a white leather glove?
No, he didn't get close enough. But he's just like, Sheriff, duel you. I duel you to a challenge.
I duel you to a challenge. Yes.
I mean, I challenge you to a challenge. I mean, I duel you to.
Yes.
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh God. I kill you.
The next morning, Lil Will showed up at the police station demanding Gerald come out and face him.
Yeah.
Take a guess. What happens next?
Oh, I don't know what the guy decided. The guy said, "Hell no, I'm not going to face you." That's the obvious answer, but I'm sure it's something a little more intricate than that.
Yeah, you're partially right, although he didn't say it in so many words. Gerald didn't bother playing Cotrell's games. He grabbed a double barrel shotgun and just blasted him in the torso. Once in the torso, once in the eye, leaving him dying in the streets.
What? Holy
fucking
shit!
boom.
Somebody actually fucking tough Tony'd him.
He told him.
Fuck yeah!
The newspaper, the Montgomery Advertiser, called it a bloody and ghastly spectacle.
Oh, I don't doubt it, dude. Yeah.
God,
Fuck.
you know
I
what?
didn't see that coming.
I didn't either. I was just like, holy shit. This is great.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the intervention of President Harrison. It wasn't the Coast Guard cutter or even Pinkerton who put a stop to this. It was a shootout in Alabama, a one-sided shootout in Alabama with a police chief who wasn't taking any crap that ended it all.
Wasn't taking this little guy's shit. Fuck yeah, dude.
So, Lil Will was a lot of things, but alive wasn't one of them.
Yeah, but bulletproof wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I did not see that going that way.
I didn't either. I mean,
Wow.
So the story made national headlines, but to this day the story has faded into obscurity until podcasts came around.
Yeah.
So now Cedar Key is a quiet little tourist beach town. You know, it's just like a nice place you want to go to just kind of relax and everything. There's golf courses there. It's your typical little quiet beach town. I've never been there, but I might have to go because there is a museum.
Yes.
And it's not that far from me. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I might have to go there. And it's in, Cedar Key is in Levy County, and that's ironically enough where my grandmother and my grandfather on my dad's side are buried.
Oh, well, there you go.
So I've been to the general area, but I've never actually been to Cedar Key. But
dude, I mean, I've never been there either. I didn't even know it was a real place until just now.
But man, what a fucking story, man.
Hell yeah.
What do you think? Does it knock Michael Malloy down to number 2 as far as the crazy factor is concerned?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's definitely close.
Very. But
yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know if it's crazier than Michael Malloy, but it's definitely giving it a run for its money, in my opinion.
Yeah. Actually, you know what?
I didn't expect that ending, dude. I thought we had a lot. Well, you were like, when you said that, I'm like, what the fuck? It's over?
Yeah. Another short episode. But
yeah, well, we've been getting good at the short one, so it's fine.
No, but I mean that's all the information that there is.
Yeah, right on.
But I think the pecking order as far as crazy that we've done is I think Michael Malloy still stays there because you had like 6 people against 1 person.
I know, dude. The Michael Malloy story is that's tough to beat.
Yeah,
that's tough to beat the level of crazy in that story.
A very close second is Little Will.
I think so. Yes, I will agree with that.
3rd, Boone Helm.
Yeah,
and 4th, the Ashleys.
Yep, I will concur with that order.
But yeah, we're gonna find all of these crazy Florida man stories from like way back when.
Oh yeah,
and all that stuff. We're definitely gonna find
great. Doing some shit from the past. Fuck yeah, like way back in the past, not just like the 60s.
Right. So God, I loved this one. This was so much fun.
It's a good one
to research and everything. And it's just like once I found the early part of his life and everything else just fell into place.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like okay, there were some things where I was just like, okay, well, can I get a little more detail? Okay, let's try a different site. Nope, they're all pretty much saying the same thing. Okay, that's all there is. But it doesn't say where he's buried or anything like that, not that I could find. Although he's probably buried somewhere in Alabama. He's probably buried in Alabama.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. That'd be a fucking road trip.
Yeah, just take a picture of his gravestone if they even did a gravestone. Actually, you know what? I imagine he was probably his body was probably shipped back to Florida.
I don't know. That's definitely a road trip worth taking if we could find out. I would do it.
Yeah, I would. I mean, especially if we're going to go out to the Boot Hill Cemetery to see Boone Helm's gravestone.
Yeah. Dude, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it's just like these old stories and everything. There's so much lore. There's so much crazy and everything. It's so much better. It's just like, okay. We do a serial killer like Angus Sinclair, Joseph Paul Franklin, and everything. There's plenty of crazy to go around there, but that's documented stuff and everything. But when you have a commander in the Coast Guard saying that the rumors and the newspaper stories are like don't even cover half of the crazy shit that this asshole has done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, right? Whoa. And he's on record saying that.
Yeah.
It's just like, holy shit, man. I would you like to know more?
Would you like to know more?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. And, yeah, it's just like, we're going to really cover the old school Florida man stories and everything. And we're not stepping on Florida man's toes and everything because they do their thing. They do it their way. We do it our way. I mean, there's like 7 or 8 other episodes about podcast episodes about William Cotrell out there. So it's just like, we're not stepping on anybody's toes. It's just like if I happen to be listening to that podcast and I find somebody I want to do it, to mention, it's like, okay, well yeah, we'll do it, but we're gonna do it our way.
We gave them credit too.
Yeah, absolutely, and we did a freaking deep dive on them. So.
Yeah. So dude, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know,
God, I had a.
We gave credit where credit's due, and we always will. We're not gonna.
We're not stepping on anybody's toes.
We ain't about that shit.
Right, and it's just. Yeah, I mean, I've had a very stressful week, and today it was just like the worst that it's been. I freaking needed that craziness. So.
Fuck yeah, dude! No, that was great. But
anywho, wrapping it up. Thank you very much for listening. Absolutely, we love we love the fact that people are taking the time to listen to us two dumbasses talk about true crime.
Yeah, right. We love you guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah, and click the website link that you found this on and everything. Go to the website itself. It has all of our episodes with with like a bunch of platforms, like linked right there for it. It's like all one-stop shop. It's also got like links to my original music and everything. And we've got some stuff in the works and everything. We're considering putting a Patreon page together, and with some stuff. I mean, we're not gonna do like, we're not gonna like take a true crime episode and just say, hey, if you want to hear this, it's on Patreon. We're gonna try to come up with different shit to put on Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like stuff like the Telltale Heart reading that I posted from 2014, I'll do more stuff like that. I mean, we've got other stuff in the works and everything. I mean, we might actually for Patreon redo the episode of the Ashley episode that Todd wasn't on. We might release that on Patreon, just for shits and giggles. But
or something, yeah, dude. It's, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but we're gonna leave the original Ashley episode on the main page the way it is because that girl was a pro.
We should.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should. It should be left the way it is. I don't mean I had issues. My mother died or was sick in the hospital, dude, and I just couldn't do it. And
right. And she stepped up to the plate, and she was a fucking pro. She stepped
up and did an amazing job. So I don't think it should be changed at all. She needs to be there and get the credit for it because she did a great job.
But Todd hasn't listened to that episode yet, so we could actually do that episode. But if we do that episode, we'll put it on Patreon.
Dude, how dare you just assume that I haven't listened to it yet?
Last time I asked you about it, you said you hadn't listened to it.
Yeah, but that was a while ago.
Oh, have you listened to it?
No, but I mean, you could just assume that I haven't.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man. You know I'm just playing.
I know. But
anyway,
until next week. Later.
Cheers, everybody.